What is up, everybody? We are going to talk about the difference between the conventional deadlift today, or the deadlift, and the Romanian deadlift, or abbreviated as the RDL. Now, there's an important difference between these two, and there's a couple things that we're going to point out. The first thing I wanted to point out is that the conventional deadlift is the powerhouse. It's the movement that we are making a goal to be stronger in. This movement is recruiting a lot of different muscles in our body so that we can ultimately just bring our whole body to the movement and become stronger as a unit. The deadlift is a very functional movement, which means that when we become stronger at the deadlift, we can really be stronger at so many other things in our life, like functional things that you do every day, like picking up your child or picking up a heavy box or moving something around your house. I mean, you would be surprised how many times you do a deadlift every day. So when we become stronger in the deadlift, that's when we really feel the benefits of strength. So movements like the RDL, the stiff leg deadlift, the sumo deadlift, they're really going to be considered accessory movements that are going to ultimately allow us to be better at the conventional deadlift. So like the conventional deadlift is this king, okay? And then all these different other types of deadlifts are specializing particularly in different muscles that the deadlift uses, the conventional deadlift, so that we can make different parts of our body stronger to be able to lift heavier with the conventional deadlift. That's the first thing to recognize. Now, the conventional deadlift is considered a pull movement because you're pulling, okay? So we talked about this before in the academy on this page. So if you wanna go back and look, just press your little files icon and you can scroll back up to that information. But it's a pull movement, meaning that the power is coming from the pull. So you're starting at the bottom and you're pulling as you stand. That's where the power is. And then when you release it back down, you don't really want to resist the weight too much, but it's still an important part of the movement. The biggest, most powerful part of that whole exercise is the coming from the bottom to the top. In comparison, the Romanian deadlift, or the RDL, starts at the top. It's still considered a pull, but the power, the biggest impactful part of this movement is from the top to the bottom. So the RDL, you're going to start at the top and you're going to push your glutes back as you go down. That's where the power is coming from. And then you're going to stand back up. Now, both parts of that movement are important. Here, part one, here, part two. But the movement starts at the top and you're feeling that stretch just really in your hamstrings before you come back up. So going back to what I was saying before, the conventional deadlift, that big king with the barbell, that's recruiting a lot of different muscles, primarily your posterior chain, which is all these muscles back here. Your hamstrings are a huge part of that, and the RDL specifically targets your hamstrings. So you can kind of see how the RDL, or the Romanian deadlift, would strengthen your hamstrings, which is encouraging strength in your conventional deadlift overall.